Python people, they might be getting upset with me because usually they put this in alphabetical order, but who cares? We can do whatever we want. Okay, so here we're at this part. We want to do this whole thing kind of in a loop. So who has some ideas for me here? What kind of approaches did anybody take towards solving this?
We use this argv just to get the URL.
Hey, I like that idea. I think we need that. So let's say, well, yeah, we'll call it URL equals sys.argv1. Cool. All right. I like that. What else do we want to do here? What kind of loop do we want to use? Only got real two choices. We got for and while.
Probably a for loop.
Probably a for loop. Why for?
I think don't really know. I just think it works better. Maybe because it iterates over.
I don't hate it. I don't hate either way. I just like you know, let's have some reason behind whichever one we want to do.
For loop struck me. I was thinking about it earlier, but I think I just lost my train of thought on it. So I just think it works better. I don't know.
I'll tell you my rule of thumb. The truth is you can use either one always. I want to say like 99.99% of the time you can use either one and replace. But here's how I like to think of it. If I have some way of knowing how many times I'm going to be looping, I'm going to use a for loop. If I only know some condition that when it's done, I'll know it, then I'll use a while loop. So like if I'm going through a list, I'm going to use a for loop, right? Because I'll know when I'm done when the list is done. But if I want to just keep doing something until some kind of condition is met or broken, then I'll use a while loop. So in this particular case, like I said, you could use either one. But which ones do we want to use now that I've given a rule of thumb kind of like that?
Try to use a for loop.
Try to use a for loop? All right, that's fine. Where do we want to loop to then? Or what do we want to loop over? That's the question we always are going to have with a for loop.
Well, also, if we use a while loop, we'll say, while the flag is not found, we can continue to iterate through whatever or continuously do something, right?
We can totally do that.
Yeah, I agree with the while loop as well. Because,
yeah, that actually does sound better.
We're pretending like we know that it's 7, but I feel like it's better to approach the problem
from a perspective of not knowing. Yeah,
I love it. I love this discussion. Like you can always keep thinking about like, should I use a for loop or a while loop? And again, like in my head, that's how I always think of it. Do I know when I'm going to be done? Like, do I know exactly like how many things? For loop, if I'm not entirely sure, but there's probably some condition, while loop. And again, we can do it both ways if you want. But let's do a while loop. And I'm going to, who was it? Liz, I think, said that we're going to do this, this pattern that we had done in another problem where we'll set our flag to be like none or something. And then we'll do like while not flag and keep searching for the flag. So I like that idea a lot, and it's a pattern we've seen before, and I'll tell you, we'll see it again in the future as well. So let's do that. Flag equals, we'll just say none, right? Because we don't have one. What about the product ID part? Do we have to do anything with that yet?
Want to set it to 0?
I guess that's where your F string will come in.
Right. Do we want it to set it to 0?
No, set it to 1.
Okay, so I'll say product ID equals 1. We could set it to 0. Let's actually check out what happens if we go to product number 0. We get a 404. But I think like I said, there's no stupid questions, and totally people could write apps stupid, like in silly ways. So totally just check it out. What happens if you check out product number 0? I don't know, let's see. So we'll start at 1 because it seems like on this site, they just increment their products by 1, which is not super uncommon.
if you start at 0, then you will never miss
That's true.
potentially a first page.
If I start at 0, I will never miss if there ever is anything on 0. I might have to, actually, I think this will be fine. We'll start at 0, and if we need to, we can change it. I don't have any concerns either way with where we want to start this product ID. Okay, cool. What do we want to do next? I think maybe this might be where we want to loop, right? Start looping here. I feel like we have everything we need. We have the URL, the base of the URL. We're going to throw in /product/ the product ID. Okay, I feel like that's good. Let's make this loop here. So while not flag. Okay, what do we do? I'm starting a loop. What do we want to do on this first iteration?
Access the site.
Okay.
So product ID and then check if flag
Okay,
is found.
so let's say product URL will be equal to, well, here's where we'll use the F string. It'll be the URL /product /product ID. Okay. Right. All we did here was take the URL part that comes in from the command line, throw a /product on there, throw a /this product ID. It'll start at 0 on the first iteration. Okay, we have our URL. I think you said make a request to that URL. So I'll say response is equal to requests.get. Here's the URL. All right, what's next?
Can check the text
Check the text.
if it has the flag. Yeah.
So I'm going to pull out the text. I'm going to do things super explicitly. You don't have to do everything on so many separate lines, but sometimes I like to do that. So text equals response.text. And we want to check if the flag is in it. So if text.find RCN, right? I think that's what their flag looks like. Let's double check. Okay, if we find RCN on the page, RCN. And well, let's take a look, make sure we understand how find works, right? Find is going to take a string, and it's going to look for the first instance of this RCN. And if it finds it, it'll throw the index. If it doesn't find it, I think it throws -1. So well, let's say, make sure it's not -1. Does not equal -1. Okay. So if we don't find it, what do we do?
Add 1 to the product ID.
I like it. Product ID plus equals 1. Do we have to do anything else? I don't think so. I think we just continue that loop again. Otherwise, so let's say we do find it. What do we do if we find this page?
Print the flag.
Print the flag. So I'm just going to go through and look in Slack. I think we pretty much said what that is, right? We would say like otherwise start equals text.find RCN. You could totally see that I'm repeating myself here, but that's fine. End equals text.find. And what do you give it? The start and curly brace. So we're looking for the other curly brace. And then we'll say print, or we'll say flag equals text and the slice from the start to the end plus 1, probably. And we'll print the flag. I feel like I like this. Does anyone see something wrong with what I've done yet?
Not necessarily wrong, but why wouldn't we say if we find the flag, then print the flag, else loop through it again?
You could do it that way. You could do it that way. I could see now that the way I wrote it maybe is not the most intuitive. Maybe you'd want to say like, if you don't find it's fine. However you want to write the logic. Let's check it out. Let's see if it works. Executable, web track, and we got to give it that URL. Slice indices must be integers or none. What did I do wrong here? I'm slicing something here. And 22. I guess.
Curly brace with the start.
Wasn't that start after the curly brace?
I heard curly brace with start.
Wasn't something like I remember before we did curly brace and then comma start?
I thought it was start and then curly brace. Is it in the
No,
wrong
he's
order?
right. It's curly brace, then start.
Oh,
Which one then start?
there we go. Well, something's printing, but looks empty. So let's see what we're doing here. Let's do some live debugging. Print text.file. Print text. Let's see what comes out here actually. How about you stop doing that? What is this? Am I looking at the wrong? No. What am I doing wrong here? If you, oh, no. What am I doing wrong here?
Oh, I think somebody said it. I don't remember who said it, but I think you have your blocks backward, right? Because the 18, if text.find RCN is not equal to -1, meaning I found the flag.
Oh, yeah. Burp. That's what they were saying. Now it's not printing.
Hey, Matt. Do you
Yeah.
want to have in line 16,
Mhm.
should that be response equals requests dot get product URL?
Ha! There it is. Product URL. Cool. No wonder that wasn't showing you the flags before. Was this still right then? There it is. There it is. We were not going to the right place. Okay, so let's quickly go through that error and the rapid debugging. So one, we were not using that new URL string that we created. We were not following our instructions that we wrote right here. Right, we made this. We were just going to the original URL instead of the new one that we made every time. And then the other thing was the error in my logic here, where I was saying, if we don't find it, that's what this is, because this returns -1. If it does not find it, we increment by 1. Otherwise, we do this stuff and print the flag. So if we do it this way, we should have just a flag come out. Woo. Cool. Many questions? Any questions?
Are we able to change the if statement in to just be like text find RCN, and then if that's true, like then you just print the flag. Otherwise, you
I see what you're saying. So it's because text.find will return -1 if it's not in there, and -1, I believe, will be truthy, right? So you can't do it like that. Some languages, they have like similar methods like finding on strings, and they'll return a falsy value if it's not there. So you can write it the way you're imagining it. But unfortunately not in Python. You would probably write it like this. Does that answer your question?
yeah. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to, again, take a look at the blackjack problem. See, Frank wanted me to go through one thing, but I kind of don't, like, I want you to see why you need it instead, but let's go through it. So here's the blackjack problem. You're going to go to this site, and really, there are no winners in gambling, only sorrow. Try your luck, right? And it's literally a web app. You can actually view the source code and see. I'm pretty sure they have their instructions for all the JavaScript. No, actually, it goes to the back. So anyway, you send a request, or you can take a look at what's happening here. Let's do that. First, let's play the game. It's just regular blackjack. Do you guys know how to play blackjack? It's like the closest 221 wins. Right? Hit means give me another card. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to stay on 16. Okay. And then the point is you need to win 3 times in order to get the flag. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you win 3 blackjacks. They do not have to be in a row. You can just keep hitting deal, and eventually you will get a flag, or you can actually write some logic to play this out. What I do want to bring your attention to, and what's going to be necessary to solving this challenge, what's going to be necessary beyond like the code that we have just written here. What do you think? What are we going to need beyond just regular old requests? If I'm telling you we need to win this game.
To receive the data?
Nope. Remember, like we're not going to worry about having to receive and really send the data like that. We're just going to be living at HTTP level and just, get requests or make requests. So what is the problem though with HTTP when I'm telling you this game, I need to win 3 times in a row?
Oh, it doesn't remember.
Yes. Yes. There is no state in HTTP. So how must it be remembering who I am?
Cookies.
Cookies. I'm going to hopefully like RNGesus will give me the flag eventually. Maybe not. So exactly. If we go into storage, you can take a look. Here's the cookie related to my my chances of winning. So as I'm sending a request to deal, right? I'm pretty sure we can actually look inside the network tab and see these requests getting sent. Right? I'm making some requests to deal, and it looks like they're actually post requests. You might want to examine them. Oh, look, I got the flag. Okay, so I'm going to need something to handle the cookies for me. And in order to do that, we're going to, again, use the Python requests library. I'm just going to go right to the horse's mouth. And what we want is, I think it's under advanced. We want this, right? This great feature. Look, it's like in the top 3 features, sessions with cookie persistence. We want to use Python to create a session so I can keep sending requests, but it's going to also keep sending those cookies as well. So it will remember who I am. And that way I can, do whatever else I need to do to eventually get this flag. Okay. So let's take a look at how to do this. Session, advanced usage. Cool. This is not what I want. Make this a little smaller. Sessions. Cool. So here's how we do sessions. Quite frankly, it's not going to change so much, but in far as how much code you have to write. But what will change is just kind of how you're thinking about these requests and response. So all you do is create a session object, right? So you use request.uppercase session, invoke it, and set that to some variable. And then you use that. There's really not too much else there. You can keep sending requests, right? So here, s.get, this is using that session to send a get request to this resource. If I look at the response, I can look at the cookies that were on there. I'm trying to think if there's anything more I need to show you about it beyond this. You can use this syntax, so it'll close the session when you exit this block. Not super important, but again, it's like the same syntax as when you're opening files, right? So it'll close the file for you once you exit that block. Frank, do you think there's anything else I need to add for this particular?
I don't think for sessions, but if you go back to the website,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just want to, so we've showed you that this network tools panel, and what I want you to notice is if you look at the URL is going to, in the URL bar is going to Blackjack Run Code Ninja. But if we go back and we go here, you see the actual request URL is going to bj.php, so blackjack.php. So just keep that in mind, right? The URL in the browser that's being presented is different from the URL that's being used to actually play the game. So if you like Mac, go back to the main view again, like close this. And if we go, where are the buttons? Like, can you like inspect one? And go to the HTML. Oh, this is awful looking. But just really quickly.
Here it is.
Scroll up a little bit to the form. Yeah, okay. So just really quickly, in HTML, you have forms which are used to submit data. As part of that data, right, you have these values and this class what do. If you actually look at the network request that's being sent, when you click those buttons, if you actually go in and look at one, like right click with that post, and you'll see, go down to params, click params, and you'll see different values being set depending on what's going on. So depending on which button you're hitting, you're gonna send different data over the wire to this bj.php app. So just, you're gonna need to take a moment, like after you figure out how to beat the game manually is pretty easily. I would say don't spend any time trying to figure out logic, like you're not going to Vegas with this, right? So just go ahead and figure out one time like how we're going to beat this game, and then spend a little bit of time to really understand what's going on at the application level by looking in the network wire, like what's being sent, what's included in that request or that post, and where is it going to, just understanding all of that. Otherwise, you're going to spend some time spinning your wheels because you'll be sending things to the wrong URL and not get what you want, and da-da-da. So there's a couple moving pieces to this. Aside from the session, just make sure that you take a look in your network panel to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on. And if the network panel isn't working for you, you got Wireshark too. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Frank. Yeah, I forgot to mention that to them. Otherwise, you're absolutely right. People would be spinning their wheels, not realizing where they're actually making the requests to. Yeah, cool. So I'll split you guys up now, and you'll take your swings at blackjack. Do, do, do.